My name is Lauren Anderson, and I am the founder of Possible Futures Community Book Space. I don't know, it's sort of a lifelong dream, but it's also very much like a dream about like where you live and having places that people can go just to be human together, to hang out, to be around books, to have just the opportunity to talk to other folks about the issues that are on their hearts and minds. We call it a book space. It's a cross between an independent bookstore and a community reading room. So, you know, an independent bookstore is a bookstore that's responsive to community and that's in a particular location, but it's a store, right? And stores are generally places that you go only to buy things. And oftentimes stores, for a lot of reasons, don't necessarily want you in them if you're just hanging out and you're not prepared to make a purchase. And that is why we use the word book space, because we actually really want people to feel like they can come here and they can be here even if they're not making a purchase. We want them to come back more often than they would if they had to make a purchase every single time they came through the door. Of course, we love it when people buy books. It keeps the lights on, it keeps the heat on, it keeps the doors open. But that's only like one part of what we do. The transaction part enables the more important part, which is really the community gathering space part. There are a lot of books in here. It's a relatively small space for a bookstore, so we can't have everything. We shelve books almost exclusively by authors from groups that have been historically underrepresented in publishing and on public shelves. So almost everything in the bookstore is by Black, Indigenous, Latinx, queer, bilingual, Muslim, you can imagine authors. And then also we try hard to curate a collection that is responsive to our neighbors. So for example, there's a substantial resettled refugee population in New Haven. Some of the folks who are resettled here are native Pashto and Dari speakers. It's not super easy to find books in Pashto and Dari, but we make sure that we have some here because it's really important that when people come in, they're able to see their language represented, they're able to see themselves represented kind of as they are, and then also as they hope to be, like their possible futures. So a lot of the books in the space are books for kids. It's about 60% kids and young adult literature, but we'll get any book for anyone, and we hope that people will think of us when they want to get a book, because if they get it from us, they're helping keep the lights on here so that other people can come and spend time in the space and interact with the books that we have. And then we have a bunch of amazing products by like mostly local people. We have soap by Tierra Soap Company. We have bags and cards and beautiful things by Little Feet's Opus. We love to bring things in that represent the incredible like diversity and just talent of the people that we live among. I love so much about New Haven, but I also think you met my neighbor a little bit ago. Like I feel like New Haven is really neighborhoody, and people, New Haven has all the challenges of any city, and there's tremendous, inequity, and all of that. We're also fortunate to have a lot of people who care about that and are working to change that all the time. But I also think it's a place where you can be known well and you can know others well. It's, some people call it like the greatest small city in America. I'm not like big into branding, but I actually feel like it is truly a great small city. Like there is so much art and culture and food and just wonderful stuff going on in New Haven all the time. I have a really good friend, Markeisha, and she always said like, if you're bored in New Haven, like, that's on you. Like there's just a tremendous amount of people who are making good things happen, and I think that's probably true everywhere. But I also think it's definitely true here, and it's true here in a really, I think, special way. It's probably true for any small business, but I certainly feel like it's true for the book space, that it's really like a project of many people's love and care, that it exists, and that that it is what it is. Like, you know, I'm sitting on a couch that somebody gave us across from like a table that was taken off the sidewalk somewhere. There are benches that were like dumpster diving finds of a neighbor who thought they would be great for the bookstore. There's just like art all around. Most of it is made by people who live within walking distance of here or are in New Haven at a further reach. And I think that's kind of what makes the space special, is that it's like no one person's space. It really does feel like a collective effort and a beautiful like reflection of just collective care, I guess. So when you come in here, if it feels good to you, that's because a lot of people have put a lot of love into it. And I often think that's like the best thing about it. And like, it's also why those plants in the background are like growing, growing so well. It's like a lot of people talk to them. A lot of people love them. There's a lot of just like a lot of good vibes. So, you know, the space is really the product of that as much as it's the product of anything else.